And our good friend, the co-host of SportsTalk Mississippi, Mr. Brian Hadad. What about it there, Brian? How are you, sir?
We're so lucky to live in Mississippi, Gerard, because the nation doesn't like college baseball. What are they doing? They're suffering through basketball. They're slogging through that. They're waiting on football. We have college baseball today. I'm excited.
Yeah, we do. We got a little echo going on there. I think Rhino's working on that right now. Hopefully might be something on your side, Brian. I don't hear you now, so check it out. I hear sound from your side. How we doing? Hey.
I don't know.
That sounds good now. Yeah, a little hot, but sounds good. Yeah, right. Just wanted to get that corrected. But all right, so yes. Yeah, we're waiting for football season. No, I don't think we are. Well,
we're waiting on baseball.
Yeah,
it's a couple hours.
Exactly. So I think I don't know. I'm going to ask you this question. I'll phrase it as a question. Do you believe that, aside, of course, from Mississippi State being national champions and all of the optimism about the other programs in the state as well in baseball, do you feel that perhaps disappointing basketball seasons played a part in the excitement surrounding baseball?
I think with these programs, Gerard, that both of these teams could be ranked in the top 25 in basketball, and we'd still be excited for baseball.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
So Rebel fans love their baseball. Obviously, Bulldog fans, Golden Eagle fans.
Yep.
College baseball is just different here in Mississippi than it is just about anywhere else. So I think we'd be excited no matter what.
Yeah, and we certainly don't mean to overlook Delta State, Jackson State. The junior colleges all have fantastic programs as well. We're a rich baseball state. It feels like we have been for a long time. We produce unbelievable talent. We have great programs. And I got to tell you, Brian, having been involved in it for 25 years, I think the development and the rise in popularity of youth baseball in Mississippi has played a great part in what we're seeing on the field at the college level.
No question. All of my friends that have sons, their weekends are sort of full up with youth baseball throughout the year.
Yeah.
And baseball has become a sport where, kids they're not as attracted to football anymore because of the risk of injury, because we know so much more about head injuries now. And baseball is just a sport where you can play and there's not as much risk of bad injury, and it's more fun, and it's a great team sport, and I love it. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah. The other thing I've always thought and appreciated about baseball as well, Brian, is that playing football, for example, and not certainly not trying to be critical of the sport of football, but the fact is it's a little bit more demanding and requires a little bit more special, immutable physical skills. I mean, it just requires size, generally, requires strength, requires speed. Not saying that those aren't fantastic attributes to play the game of baseball. They are. But there's a place for virtually everybody to enjoy the sport of baseball and participate in it.
A guy like Jose Altuve, not lining up in the NFL anytime soon.
Right,
but
exactly.
A great baseball player.
Yeah,
it
basketball.
is a more inclusive, physically sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it certainly it's evolved somewhat through the years, and gosh, it seems like a lot of the guys on the corners now, they look like tight ends in the NFL. And probably could play that. But still, though, you got a lot of pitchers that they're specialized at pitching, and they tend to hone in on that. And they may not be necessarily blessed with some sort of kind of unique physical characteristic. So anyhow, it is exciting day here in the state of Mississippi. I think we're going to have big old crowds over the weekend. You're expecting that? Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I mean, with State, I'm sure you saw the number, 13,000 season tickets sold up here.
Unbelievable.
I would imagine tomorrow, it's supposed to be nice. probably 10K here, probably close to that in Oxford, and whatever they can get down in Hattiesburg, they'll fit as many as they can. So, yeah, I think there's going to be big crowds this weekend, and when we have good weather, all year long.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's going to be fun. So, how are you feeling? What's your expectation? Are the Dawgs going to repeat?
Well, let's just go with that. Let's just say that's the case. It's difficult to predict that capable team, assuming that their starting pitching delivers, which that was the same question we had last season.
Sure,
was starting pitching. I have a lot of faith in Landon Sims, but you got to get the Saturday and the Sunday guys behind him. But State's got some big bats in the lineup, and they've got plenty of depth in that bullpen, so they'll be good again.
Yeah, no doubt. The Rebels are quite optimistic about their chances as well. You got any thoughts there?
Well, State and Ole Miss are very similar in that just not a lot of proven pitching. Diamond for Ole Miss, who's getting the start today, is probably the most proven guy. But mashers, man. Ole Miss has guys that can launch the ball out of the ballpark, and they're going to be very tough. I mean, all four of the top teams in the West, State and Ole Miss, Arkansas, and LSU, they all have the same kind of situation. They don't have a lot of proven pitching, but they've got a ton of guys that can blast the ball all over the ballpark. So I think, we're going to see some high-scoring games, especially early in the year until the pitching starts to get control a little later in the season.
You can almost see a point at some point during the season where those four teams are ranked 1 through 4.
It could possibly happen. I mean, I know last year 3 of them were in the top 5 at one point. I know State, Arkansas, and Ole Miss were.
Yeah.
And LSU, I mean, assuming all the pieces come together, a lot of transfers coming in from Arizona. But, yeah, could possibly. So I think right now the SEC will probably have 6 host sites out of 16.
Wow.
And I said yesterday on SportsTalk, I think there'll be 3 here in the state of Mississippi. I think Southern Miss is going to take Conference USA, or I guess it's still Conference USA, to the Warriors to get in there anyway.
It's fluid.
Yeah. And but I think they'll win that conference, and I think they'll be hosting a regional this May as well.
Wow. How awesome would that be? Think about that.
Great for my show.
Oh, absolutely.
To talk about.
And fantastic, of course, for the state of Mississippi as well. Does it seem like the other conferences maybe are starting to defocus a little bit on baseball? Feels like it to me.
I don't know how much focus they really have. I mean, the Big 12, you have Texas TCU, Texas Tech. Oklahoma State's pretty good. They're playing Vanderbilt this week, and that'll be a good series.
Yep.
A lot of the schools up there don't care. The Big Ten, that's not a baseball conference.
No.
The ACC, I mean, Miami and Florida State aren't what they used to be. Clemson not what they used to be. So, yeah.
I remember, of course, I'm an older guy. It was the Pac-10.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize it.
Stanford's
but not
still the team out there, but USC's not what they used to be. And UCLA, they won the national title in 2013, but have never really built off of that.
Right. Well, it used to be Pepperdine and UC Irvine and Cal State, Fullerton.
Long Beach State this weekend. I mean, that's a program that's been winning for a long, long time out there on the West Coast.
It's and if I'm not mistaken, Brian, I think USC still has the record for the most national championships.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 70s, they won 7 or 8 in a row.
Yeah. And UCLA at the same time was winning national basketball championships across the town there. Well, we'll be watching. It's going to be fun. I'm sure we'll be talking more, and you guys have a good time with the game. Brian, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate that logo there, Rhino. Good stuff. Appreciate that.
We'll be back here on Middays. We got more talk coming your way. Stay with us.